right. It is Monday morning. It's cold, but it's okay because we warm in here and we getting it going. It is another episode of Chopping It Up with Cador. Of course, I am Perry White, and he's back with us today. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Roger Cador. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
Tired, but I'm doing good.
I told everybody you were out doing humanitarian work. You were out in the world, not just the United States, but doing your part in terms of doing a clinic.
Well, overseeing the clinic,
Okay.
supervising it, lending information, and spreading and selling the baseball to kids in Latin America, Central America.
How do they take it down there? You know, when you go, you this big black man, tall guy, very different accent. Sometimes it can kind of be, if you're not prepared for it, it can kind of be intimidating if you come into the room and you're like, hey, you know, how do they accept or perceive when you go down there?
Well, it's always wonderful. I'm always received very loving and warm because that's what I project to them. And people feel what you let out to them. And even though I don't speak the language, it's never an issue though. You know, we are able to laugh and talk, and you ought to see the effort to communicate is there. And some things I can understand, and some things I have to say, give me an interpreter. You know, and but it's just a wonderful thing, and you know, it's poor people, but they're very loving and hardworking people.
Yeah. The hat, gotta ask about it. Tell me the story about this hat that you got on today.
Well, this is an Ecuadorian hat I bought in Ecuador, and you know, it's one of my favorite hats.
You gotta go to him. You gotta show that hat. There you go.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite hats, and I wasn't going to get the hat, but the lady at the shop said, you gotta have this hat. She said, I want you to have it, and I went on and bought it, and there it is today.
So this is your favorite one?
My favorite one. I've worn this hat more than any of the hats I have.
You know, with that hat, what does that hat do for you? Is it the look? Is it the feel? Is it the swag that it has when you see yourself in the mirror?
Well, everybody said they like it. You, except you haven't said it. But that's okay. I get that response, oh, this is a nice hat. And, you know, when I look at it, it's not a very expensive hat. But maybe by Ecuadorian standard it is. But for American, I figure I got a really good deal on that hat.
I like that other hat that you have, the one I think you said you got from Peru. That's the one I like.
Yeah, I've got
Look, it's like, I think it's the color like that's the one.
It's a nice hat too.
I don't know, just do something. I like them. That's a good hat too. You always, one thing about it, you don't step away shy of picking out good hats. I like your hat collection.
Well, you know, I don't know when I'll be going back to any of those countries where I could, you know, get a different collection of hats. You know, obviously, I would like to go back to Ecuador. I mean, not really. The thing with Ecuador, I was in Quito, Ecuador, and it's 2 miles high. And when you have asthma, that's not a good place to be because it was just so happened that was a lady from Japan, and that lady fell out. Bam.
Really?
Couldn't breathe, and I struggled. I couldn't walk. One day I couldn't walk from here to that door. Just couldn't do it, and fortunately, most of the hotels there, they have oxygen in there, and I spent most of the time
Sucking up some oxygen.
just stuff. Well, you talk about one happy brother when I left that place. It's a beautiful place, though. It's really beautiful, but it's too high.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. It's Christmas holiday. It's the time of the year most people are in the giving spirit. So I did something this week that is the first time in my life. I'm 34 years old. But I'm going to ask you, have you ever bought a Christmas tree in your life? You.
Never. I don't celebrate Christmas, so that's
okay.
You know, so there's no need for me to buy a Christmas tree.
Okay.
Okay.
So I bought a Christmas tree for the first time this year. 34 years old. I caught a great deal, hell of a deal. and I couldn't resist. I had to take it. But when I took this deal, man, it was something about when I got to the house and I was putting up a Christmas tree, putting ornaments on it and it had lights. I'm like, it took this long in my life as a guy to buy a Christmas tree. And I don't know, something about that I felt accomplished as in my maturing stages of being not only I guess a man, but more so a father, because my son, of course, what are you doing? You know, because my mom called me for like 4 straight days and was like, buy that boy a tree.
That boy don't care about that tree. You think your son cares about that tree? Do you really?
I think he cares about what's underneath it or whatever's wrapped up.
But this tree,
yeah,
he don't care about that tree.
I don't think he does.
He gives less than a damn about that tree. You know, and that's the mistake people make when they start assuming that kids is going to enjoy something. Rather than you explain to him how devalued Christmas is, it's not real. And that, son, if you need something, I'm going to give it to you whenever you need
365.
it. That's right. And my son never had to unlearn that Christmas is not real because we explained to him at a young age that it's, you know, it isn't. So, but from a religious standpoint, we are different, and so it's not no difficulty. You know, a lot of people don't know better. You know, they would never know that Christmas is a pagan holiday. Would never realize that. So that's the problem when you don't know what you're celebrating, and it makes it a little difficult. But I don't try to stop people from doing what they feel comfortable doing. But I always say, know what you're doing. Because then you're a smart guy, Perry.
Let me ask, because since you don't celebrate Christmas, but when this time of the year comes around and you can kind of feel everybody getting in that spirit and it's just kind of out and about, does that still rub off on you?
Not whatsoever.
Really? None.
I mean, none of that means nothing. Let me tell you, before I knew Christmas was pagan, when my brother, we were young, and discovered my mother had bought us a Christmas present and that Santa Claus was going to bring him. And I believed it. I might have been 7, 8, 9 years old. And then my brother went and found the presents and showed them to me. It was it was devastating that they had lied to me about Santa Claus. Now, they may not think it was much, but I was devastated.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They lied and said Santa Claus existed. And you want to believe your parents.
You do.
And from that day, I was through with
hilarious.
it. No, it's not hilarious, too. I was through with it. I told her, no more. I couldn't do nothing with that.
And how old were you, do you think, about this time?
Probably 9 or 10. I was young.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Just like that, you found out the hard way.
Well, you never want to this is why you don't want to lie to your kids. This is why you want to tell them the truth. And a lot of people don't think much of it, but it does have an effect on some people. Other people let it go. You can lie to people all the time and they accept it and move forward. I will move forward too, but I will look at it for what it's worth. And that was the last time I had anything to do with any kind of celebration of Christmas.
So, you know, I guess on my side of things, I've been wanting to do that with my son, but his mother, just preserve Christmas. You know, you gotta know it's Santa Claus. Oh, it's just something about this and that. And me and my mom, we're a little bit different when it comes to it. You know, we like Christmas just for the loving, the caring, the sharing, because it seems to be, if nobody's gonna do it no other time of the year, this seems to be the time of the year that it does bring it out, right? You want people to be loving and caring 24/7 all the time, but it seems something about the giving spirit of Christmas that brings it out so much more. But my mom was like, no, tell them I bought them gifts. Tell them that train set came from me. And so it's been one of those back and forth battles. But I'll tell you, when I found out Santa wasn't real. So
normally I would never on my show talk about this.
But this is a story. This was a life lesson.
Yeah.
Listen, we were in Chicago, and my mom and my grandmother and I, we were out shopping. South Side, basically Calumet City.
Calumet City.
You know about Calumet City?
Yes, I do.
We were out in River Oaks Shopping Center. And so we're out, and my mom, I had already expressed to her basically to Santa of what Perry wanted for Christmas. And it was some video games, but it was specific games that I wanted. So we go out shopping, and so she tells me, hey, we're going to buy games for your cousin. We know you know all the good games. Pick out the games for your cousin. Perry being Perry, I already know the games that I want. I'm not going to get my cousin the same games I got. I'm about to get my cousin all the whack games. I'm talking about all the wackest games I can find because I want to have all the good games. So I found out Santa wasn't real. All those whack games I picked, you know what on Christmas Day, what I opened?
Whack games.
I got the whack games. That was a life lesson. First, I knew Santa wasn't real because y'all had me pick out my own gifts. But second of all, I realized don't be mean-natured.
There you go.
Because what
come back.
You don't know how heartbroken I was that Christmas morning as I was opening those games up, and I was like, what the hell is this?
That's right.
How did I end up with this? So
goes to show you were trying to be ugly.
I was trying to be a modern day Scrooge is what I was trying to do.
Don't be a Scrooge.
I don't want to be a Scrooge.
Let's talk something that's important.
Let's talk important. First of all, welcome back. Glad you made it back safe. I know traveling anytime can be wear and tear on you, especially physically and mentally. So glad to have you back. I had the house to myself last week, and I made sure I took care of the house.
You did well.
Oh, thank you. And as we move forward, the Celebration Bowl. Were you able to watch the Celebration Bowl this weekend?
No, obviously I was working, but I got a call. Someone told me that the game had gone into overtime, and I was surprised. And then the final result, even more surprised. But it shows you that the MEAC do play a good brand of football because they beat Jackson last year and again this year. And Jackson, nobody thought could beat them this year in that level of football, and they certainly did. So, but Jackson had a lot of distraction with Coach Prime leaving, all of the other stuff surrounding his football program, and that had to be some kind of distraction. Remember, 17 to 23-year-old. It's difficult to keep them focused.
Especially in the age of social media with the phone. Everybody's able to have an opinion, to talk, and they breed into it.
And so I think that was a measure of this. Being a coach, a former coach, that had to be a measure of distraction to a large extent.
I want to hear about that, especially from your perspective, because you won a lot of SWAC championships, 14 to be exact. You taking your team on a national stage when you talk about playing for NCAA regionals, and when you have that type of platform, you start to get attention that you typically get. You get more attention typically than what you get from your local and regional news. Now you got a national news agency and all of these people that come around that start to write about you. You start to see yourself differently. You start to hear this story and that story. How do you keep a team for you as a coach when you were coaching to stay away from the distractions? Say, hey, something may have written and say, Southern don't even have a chance. Don't read into that. Don't buy into that. Get that out your mind. How do you keep you guys going?
Well, first of all, as a coach, I did my job of preparing the people I was going to let talk to the media, because you have to handpick who you let talk to the media. You still deal with young people. Secondly, we were fortunate here in Baton Rouge is that the local media, we were the only thing in town, LSU and Southern. So they have to put give sports priority. And we were doing relatively well, so they gave us a lot of publicity. The print media and the live TV market gave us a lot of publicity. So we had our players involved in the media and telling them some of the things they should talk about. The respect for your opponent, say good things about your university and your teammates, those kind of things. So they already had good information about doing all of that.
And when you got a guy like Ricky Weeks who won the Golden Spikes Award, basically, if you compare it to football, the Heisman Trophy of college baseball at Southern University, to have that prestigious honor. What was that like when you get a young man to be able to have that type of an award, and then you start to get all of these people? Can the ego come to you when you have an award like that, and as a coach, when you say you got to ground them or zero them in to keep them focused?
I reminded Ricky of another Heisman Trophy winner in 1985, I think, from the University of Auburn, Vincent Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent Bo Jackson had a speech impediment. You knew that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
That was before my time.
You never heard Bo speak?
Well, I guess by the time I knew of Bo, I was of age, and Bo at that point was kind of aged out of the game.
Okay, well, Ricky had the same issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Ricky used to come to my office every day. I said, Ricky, you're going to be getting a lot of interviews. And I told him about Bo Jackson. I said, Bo Jackson, that was the lady. He ended up marrying the lady, became his wife, who used to work with him on being able to overcome speaking to the media.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I got a lady. She can work with you at night. I'm going to give you the key to my office. And she going to come and work with you. And he took my advice. And that lady came and worked with him every night she could. And I said, because you're going to get a lot of interviews. We want you to do it well. And so he listened, he took the advice, and he went through it. He nailed it. He went through it because she taught him how to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you study, you have a tendency to try and get it out quick.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down. Think about what you're about to say and work it through. And it really worked out well. So it would have been a shame for me to have sent Ricky, threw him out there without preparing him.
That's right.
And they know that I had something I always said to them. Preparation meets opportunity. Preparation meets opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I was preparing him for those opportunities.
That's right.
And he did quite well with it. His mother called crying. Said, you love my son. Nobody else would have done that for him. I said, I do love your son. And it was the right thing for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
With me having knowledge. You see, this is the thing, Perry. People with knowledge ought to... I remember my wife showed me something in the Bible. And Jesus was talking to the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And back in the days, they were the educated ones. So they had knowledge. But they wouldn't share it with others.
Because knowledge is power.
That's why they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus said how sad it is to have power, to have this and not share it with the others. And my thing is, I had knowledge about what needed to be done here to prepare this young man for the next step. And why wouldn't I use it? He didn't know better. He was just playing ball. You got me? But me being the adult in the room, his mother didn't have no money to hire someone to work with him. So I had to step in and get someone to work with him.
And that's the essence of a coach, and that's why I think even when you look at what Coach Sanders was doing at Jackson State, and you look at a guy like Travis Hunter, who was the #1 high school recruit at the time, he came in, he said it's not about what the amenities of the schools have, it's the knowledge of the game that Coach Sanders has. Right. And I want to learn directly from a guy who was the best at what he did. And that way I can be the best at what I'm going to do. And when you look at what Coach Sanders did this weekend, they fell 41-34. A hell of a game, one of the best games I've seen this year. And shout out to North Carolina Central. You talked about the MEAC and the dominance that they've had over the SWAC. The SWAC has only won one game in the Celebration Bowl, and that was Grambling beating North Carolina Central in the second year that they ever had it in 2016. But a guy like Trey Oliver, who's the head coach at North Carolina Central, former defensive coordinator at Southern, just a few years ago under Coach Dawson Odoms, and he goes over to his alma mater at North Carolina Central and does the unthinkable. Goes out and beat this top 5 program in Jackson State. Last they were ranked, I think, number 5 or 4 in FCS football. North Carolina Central was ranked in the top 25 around the number 23 spot. But one thing about North Carolina Central, a lot of people didn't pay attention to, although they came into the game 9-2, they had played a way tougher schedule than Jackson State. Jackson State's opponents were pretty much lined up as SWAC opponents outside of that game with Tennessee State. But other than that,
Campbell.
Yeah, and Campbell. That was the homecoming game. And North Carolina Central played Campbell. Now, the difference was Jackson beat Campbell, but that one game, North Carolina Central, I'm not sure what happened. They got blew out by Campbell. But along the way, North Carolina Central got a victory over North Carolina A&T, who's been a perennial power, and as well as they beat a top 25 program as in New Hampshire on the road. And so when you got a team that's kind of battle tested, and I think another thing as well, when you get a month layoff compared to Jackson State just played a week ago against Southern in the SWAC championship, you got an opportunity to rest your guys and do a lot of film work, a lot of studying on your opponent to know how to come at them. But nonetheless, North Carolina Central went in there, got the victory 41-34 in overtime, and it was the last time we were going to see Coach Sanders on the HBCU level, particularly at Jackson State. So it's kind of a bittersweet, but you know, you've seen all around the up and down, and I'm sure if you paid attention, some people hate him for leaving. Some people was like, you know, it was inevitable. It was going to happen. But nonetheless, I think Jackson State and the people that they're win or lose have to be happy for all the notoriety, the amenities, and the finance that he was able to help in order to pour into that school, especially when you talk about low resources.
Well, if I was the president over there, I would have, you know, I
you
keep
on that president, boy.
I keep thinking about the ADF. Colorado said, I hired him, but I don't have the money.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done the same thing. He was going to bring in the money. So we're going to go to a commercial break right now, Perry. So
there you go. You heard the man. Hey, we're going to a break. When we come back, we'll have more Chopping It Up with Cador.
Looking to get some keys made, locks rekeyed, or a wide variety of new and used safe? Then look no further than the trusted choice of Alfred Safe and Lock. Conveniently located off of Government Street in Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Trust the expert locksmith at Alfred for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial lock and safe needs. Trusted by Baton Rouge and me, Roger Cador, to protect what is yours since 1946.
Take your fun full throttle with a single touch. There are places to fly high, swing low, or make the old bell ring. Your targets are in sight. Better your game by playing ball of almost every variety. Need to catch your breath? There's a place for that too. Countless ways to play beyond the swing sets. Breck, we're more than a playground.
It is time to trade in your isolation for celebration, to break out and get away. And at Baton Rouge Metro Airport, you'll get away a lot quicker. BTR is way closer, more convenient, with easy parking, check-in that's a breeze, and non-stops and short hops to anywhere you want to go. So get back to your life and be quick about it. Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time. FlyBTR.com.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights. Gravitate towards something out of this world. Even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. Breck, we're more than a playground.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
It is time to trade in your isolation for celebration, to break out and get away. And at Baton Rouge Metro Airport, you'll get away a lot quicker. BTR is way closer, more convenient, with easy parking, check-in that's a breeze, and non-stops and short hops to anywhere you want to go. So get back to your life and be quick about it. Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time. FlyBTR.com.
Here we go. We're back with more of Chopping It Up with Cador. Of course, I'm Perry White, and he's the man, the myth, the legend himself, Roger Cador. And if you hear my voice, hit that button right there underneath this video. It says subscribe. It's free. We don't need your credit card information, your debit card information. We don't even need your social security number. Guess what? You hit that button. We'll love to have you to support the program. And baby, get a notification every time we go live for the show, as well as being able to go back and watch and get an opportunity to catch up on what Coach Cador and I are chopping it up about. And something I want to chop it up with you about, Coach. We was just talking about Ricky Weeks, a hell of a ball player for you, but he had one hell of a coach as well. So I think when you put a hell of a coach with a hell of a ball player, what does that mean? Somewhere down the line, Hall of Fame, right? And that's what I think you have destined coming up, is you and Ricky have been nominated to be inducted into the College Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I got that call over the weekend. And
National College Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and it's a tremendous honor. And to be able to go in simultaneously with one of your better players. Mm-hmm. I mean, not every coach get to do that. This is so unique. I don't know of any other coaches the combo have done. I'm sure maybe somewhere. Mm-hmm. But, my life has been pretty unique when it comes to things like this. Things happen that don't happen to many people.
How you feel about it?
I mean, it's a good honor, a great honor. I don't want people to think. But, I mean, it doesn't change me, who I am. Let's make sure we get that understood. You got me? It's just another honor for hard work and what people perceive as successful work. You got me? I think more than all of that is the most important thing is that what people perceive you have done to be of value to players, community, universities.
As I look on the list, you'll be the second all-time HBCU coach on here. 2011, Ralph Waldo Emerson Jones from Grambling was inducted into the National College Baseball Hall of Fame. So you'll be the second from the ranks of the HBCU. But nonetheless, just to be with all of these great coaches that have their name in there, man, and what a great honor. To national, this is big. You talking about National College Baseball Hall of Fame. There have been plenty of guys that have been out there coaching, playing, is what so. But when you look back at your time as a head coach to get to this point, did you ever see this day coming? Typically, we would say no, but you always talked about against all odds, defying everything that was put up against you that possibly could have made you fail, but you said, I'm not going to fail. And not only did you not fail, you had your players in a position not to fail, which is why you won so many championships. 14 SWAC championships is amazing. I don't know anybody that won 14 of anything. So when you look at when you started compared to when you retired and where you are now, getting this opportunity to get a Hall of Fame and being alive to get your roses while you're alive, one day did you imagine this being the thing for you?
Yeah, and you say the 14. But if you look at all about another 10, that we played for the championship and we didn't win.
So you could have tripled that, doubled that, huh?
We were, and that lets you know more than anything else, I'm proud of the fact that I had the kind of players that made the university look good. Because we always were playing for the championship.
All the time. It became a thing.
Huh?
That became a thing. When you knew championship, you already knew to put us down.
And people in the conference knew it. They knew it. And it's, to me, that's the greatest honor. Is when people know that the thing they don't know. When I say when they know what they don't know, they really don't know what's down the road. But they knew Southern would be there. You got me? They knew Southern would be there. And my players expected to be there. Because the week before preparation for the conference tournament, you could hear the chatter. The older guys telling the younger guys what they expect from them. You see, and that's called demands. When you make demands. See, I made demands to my older players. They made demands to the younger players. And that's how you get people to be successful. Now, you can't demand a kid to go lift a 50-pound something when he can only lift 2 pounds. Then you shouldn't make that kind of demand, you got me? But the demands we were asking were all achievable type of demand. Play your very hardest, play smart, don't give in, and never, never give up. Those demands could be achievable, you see, and that's all I ever asked.
When you give that speech, is this an event where you give a speech?
Yeah, you give a speech.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. Remember, this just happened.
Yeah.
And I don't write it down. I just go and talk off the cuff.
Yeah, that's what you're going to probably do with this one?
I always do it. Why wouldn't I do it? I've never written anything down to go give a talk.
Yeah.
In my whole life. Never.
Really?
Well, and I've spoken to countless number of situations. But so I'll be able to handle it.
Well, what I want to say is congratulations, man. You know, first and foremost, to have been a kid, you was coaching before I was alive, you know, but as you grow up, as you learn, as you get exposed, you start to hear about Southern. You start to hear about Southern baseball. You start to hear about Roger Cador. Well, who is this guy? You know, how is he so successful? And over the years of seeing that success and then being able to get a chance to meet you and now here do this show, I just want to say congratulations because you're the only person I know in the National College Baseball Hall of Fame. And so that is an honor to be a part of, to know that I'm right here working with you, man. That is a great honor, as well as Ricky. Ricky and I have met numerous times, and real good guy, man. You know, and now the fact that you and him are going in together, that's much success to you guys, and you know that's a big accomplishment. And I want to say congratulations to you, and as well as that is big for Southern. You know, Southern should definitely put that out there. That talking about a public relations move of being able to put out there that they have a coach and a player that'll be going into this prestigious Hall of Fame. So
it certainly is a good honor. And as it relates to you, it's more of an honor to be with you. I have a lot of people who they call me and tell me about the job you're doing. And I want you to know you keep it up. You can go places.
Appreciate that. I know as a coach, you always, what you just said, I gotta keep preparing. I gotta keep going because if I do right, I'll be ready for the opportunity.
Preparation meets opportunity.
There you go.
Remember that. Preparation meets opportunity. It's a simple saying. And I learned that saying back in 1970. And I've used it ever since to everybody that wanted to get better. I used it to them. Preparation meets opportunity. When I saw those words, I knew I had a chance then. Because those words said everything I needed to know. Preparation meets opportunities. Those simple words. 3 words. Preparation meets opportunity. It was etched in my brain. And I said, this is what I've been looking for. There were a lot of other factors that came involved, but I knew if I prepared, there would be opportunities coming. If you're not prepared, you don't even know the opportunity come and go.
That's right. But
I knew if I prepared, I could take advantage of them.
Well, let's do this. Let's prepare to take a commercial opportunity. How about that one? All right.
That's pretty good, Perry.
All right, we'll be right back with more Chopping It Up with Cador.
looking to get some keys made, locks rekeyed, or a wide variety of new and used safe? Then look no further than the trusted choice of Alfred Safe and Lock. Conveniently located off of Government Street in Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Trust the expert locksmith at Alfred for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial lock and safe needs. Trusted by Baton Rouge and me, Roger Cador, to protect what is yours since 1946.
Take your fun full throttle with a single touch. There are places to fly high, swing low, or make the old bell ring. Your targets are in sight. Better your game by playing ball of almost every variety. Need to catch your breath? There's a place for that too. Countless ways to play beyond the swing sets. Breck, we're more than a playground.
It is time to trade in your isolation for celebration, to break out and get away. And at Baton Rouge Metro Airport, you'll get away a lot quicker. BTR is way closer, more convenient, with easy parking, check-in that's a breeze, and non-stops and short hops to anywhere you want to go. So get back to your life and be quick about it. Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time. FlyBTR.com.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights, gravitate towards something out of this world, even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. Breck, we're more than a playground.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
It is time to trade in your isolation for celebration, to break out and get away. And at Baton Rouge Metro Airport, you'll get away a lot quicker. BTR is way closer, more convenient, with easy parking, check-in that's a breeze, and non-stops and short hops to anywhere you want to go. So get back to your life and be quick about it. Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time. FlyBTR.com.
All right, here we go. Back with Chopping It Up with Cador. Of course, I'm Perry White. If you hear my voice, there's that little button right there underneath this screen that says subscribe. You hit that, you get a bell notification. Every time we go live, you get an opportunity to catch us in person. And if not, guess what? You can always go back and watch. But we like your support. I've noticed the subscribers have gone up, so they are listening to me, Coach. So you guys keep on listening to me. And for any new viewers, welcome. We love to have you. Continue to come back and check us out. And for anybody that has been a continuous viewer, we always appreciate you for your support each and every time we do this show. And Coach Cador.
Yes, sir.
What are you up to this week?
Nothing. You asked me. I got a couple of errands I've got to run. I got to do some catching up. Mm-hmm. Other than that, that is about it.
Yeah, I got some family. So my mom's coming in town. Grandmother's flying in from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
It's been a long time since we've done Christmas together, or I guess is it to you? Just say we've gotten together
as a family.
Yeah, as a family, because it's being so spread out and so
that's right. Yeah,
have everybody around it so they get to see the real PJ, my son. Since you call me PJ,
he's the third generation.
He's the second. I'm senior.
But you're no. Your grandmother.
Oh yeah. So that'd be his great grandmother.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
So getting the opportunity. So they always tell me all the love. It ain't about you no more, Perry. It's about him. They still love me.
I could see where you were spoiled brat.
Not me at all. You
were only child?
Only child, but far from spoiled. Trust me. You don't understand. My mom was like a coach growing up in that house. So she had to be mother and father. My mom is a no nonsense woman. Yeah. She not finna play. It ain't no talking back. It's not a lot of love, nurturing, but it's more discipline. When you get up, when she gets up and go to work, you need to get up, clean the house, go cut the yard. I had 2 jobs in high school. I paid bills. Yeah. That's what I was on. That's why I'm a go-getter. That's why I'm driven. She built me to be that, not to depend and rely. I used to be, can you believe it, a very soft-spoken young person. Can you believe that? Now I'm so loud, people got to tell me, even when I'm whispering, I'm loud, But even then, she raised me to be that way. So, but I'm like, who is this person? Because with my son, she is the person who you think she probably was with me, this spoiling me. The things my son gets away with, he gets to talk. Me, I didn't get to talk.
Well, times are different. It's different. You spank him, and he might call the law enforcement people on you. He knows how to dial 911. Hey, that was a good weekend for football. It was. In the NFL, I hear.
Who are you following in the NFL? Because right now the Philadelphia Eagles seem to be a team with Jalen Hurts. They're continuously rolling. They found a way to get it done yesterday. A game that I watched with the Dallas Cowboys lost a heartbreaker in overtime yesterday to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're talking about just a pop ball, just jump up, and they returned it the other way for a touchdown. But anybody in particular you're watching in the NFL as we get close to playoffs?
Not really. On the TV coming in, we were able to watch how Tom Brady looked awful against the Bengals. Mm-hmm. I was able to watch some of that. But, I've been impressed with the Eagles, with what Cincinnati is doing. I tell you what, the Detroit Lions, that coach has cost them about 3 games, but they are doing a really good job.
You can tell it's there. They're just like a step here, a step there away from putting it together, but you can feel that it's there.
The coach is going to get it together. I mean, he admitted he cost them a couple of games. Mm-hmm. But, it happens in that league.
It does.
When you're a young coach. That's one in those leagues. You open the window, they jump through it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like about that league. I don't like the violence, but boy, I tell you, I love the officials. They are good. And how many people going to talk about the officials? But the officials in the NFL are as good as they get.
I'm hoping to get there one day.
You could. Boy, they don't miss many calls. Mm-hmm. They don't miss them. And I have a good admiration for good officials.
Well, let me ask you this. You were down in Latin America. How about the World Cup? Argentina winning the World Cup.
Oh, crazy over there. It's bigger than football here.
Yeah, it is.
Soccer is bigger than football could ever be.
Well, that's football for them.
Yeah. Man, those people were crazy. Oh, my goodness. When Argentina, because obviously we're pro-Argentinians in Latin America, Central America, they're pro-Argentinian who are in South America. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was like they almost tore the building down.
Really? It was rocking.
Wow. The other good thing is about give soccer credit. Mm-hmm. They went and got the best announcer to call that shot. Mm-hmm. That guy's good. Mm-hmm. He is so good. But you see, that's when you're on the big stage, you shouldn't play around and not put your best out there. You got me? Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, because I guess as we look at baseball and as we look at soccer, Soccer is a international sport that is, I mean, if you want to know, like you said, how big something is, pay attention to soccer. With baseball, it's more so, baseball is international, but you typically Asia and America, and then in the Central America, the Caribbean countries, they like it. But would it be great to see more African Americans playing the game of soccer, especially when you look at the worldwide global exposure of what that game does?
Play that.
Yeah,
they're not going to play it. I'd like to see more. You know, baseball is the world game is coming back now. You see what people don't understand, Perry. You only have so many black athletes to spread. We only 43 million people in the country. You got to think 2 or 3 million men are in prison. You understand what I'm saying? Or have so many issues that they can't participate. It's just not that many more to go around.
Because we seem to be funneling so many into the basketball and the football realm, but there are other realms out there to potentially get in and have that same exposure.
Your best athletes are in prison.
Yeah.
Well, not some of them.
But I can say that personally, because from where I'm from, there was so many guys I know right now that could be playing in Major League Baseball, the NBA, NFL, hell, the World Cup. You know, but never had the guidance, never had a Roger Cador to sit down and work with him and talk to him and tell him this is a God-gifted ability that you have that could take you and your family far, get you out of the situations in which you battle each and every day. And they fell victim to the situations in the environment, man. I think that's what makes it so hard. And I keep thinking about the guy that you said was from East St. Louis, who you said possibly could have been the greatest player that you ever had. That talented of a guy, and didn't even see it within himself. Like that when I think about that and I look about my community, it's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
Man.
It's heartbreaking. But I had another one. I mentioned him, but I had another one from Greenville, Mississippi, named Willie Dukes.
Really? And I know Greenville. That's it. That Delta region. My family originally from Lake Village, right there across the river.
Yeah. Well, Willie Dukes was so talented. And I convinced his parents. He came, he couldn't get up to go to class. He stayed. We worked with him. We went and got him up to class. Got him. He was so talented, he went and played left and went to a junior college, stayed there a year and got drafted.
Really?
It's just those kind of guys don't come around very often. You know, we tried everything. But they didn't have the insight. And his mother, Willie Duke's mother, knew Willie had issues. She was saying, Coach, I hope you can help him. We had problem making him go to class in high school. That's why.
Dad in his life?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
His dad was in his life?
But Dad just was interested in him playing, I guess. I don't know.
Did he end up being successful once he got drafted? No?
No. Those kind of guys ain't going to make it because structure becomes an issue.
That's it.
You may have the talent, but you got to be able to do certain things when you're supposed to do them. You got me? See, it's more than sports. Even though it's a business when you go, but there's still some structural things you have to do. I've seen it happen, and I played pro baseball, so I know. I've seen talented people not make it.
Yeah.
White and black and Hispanic. So it's not, baseball is one of them sports you have to have structure. Matter of fact, that was a white boy, a pitcher from Pensacola, Florida. Preston Hanna was his name. What a great. And they used to call him Cy for Cy Young. That's what people thought about. Guy was so wild and crazy. Kept him out of the big leagues. He was wild and crazy with a world of ability.
Was he more like a drinker?
Drinker, smoker, do anything and do crazy thing, tear up stuff, fight, anything crazy. And didn't think none of them, but you can't do that. Then used to call him Cy Young. To be called Cy Young, you got to be good.
And you just put it on my mind because as much as the people that we do consider the greats because we had an opportunity to watch them be successful, there are so many people that are out there that actually could be the best. That could have had their names etched in that and just never made it that far because of, like you said, the discipline that it takes.
Yeah.
And to be great and to be a legend takes discipline. That's why you're headed to the Hall of Fame, the National College Baseball
And
Hall
I
of
wasn't
Fame.
the best in nothing in growing in high school. I was somewhere. In college, I was just there. And when I got drafted in baseball, and all those boys who were better than me, they were looking at me, how could he get drafted? I don't know. I don't know.
I can imagine maybe so your work ethic.
They always saw something in me nobody else could see. And that's the only way I can see it.
Yeah.
Because my college coach, I was a skinny little thing. I walked on to Southern and said, Cador, there are Volkswagen drivers and Cadillac drivers. You're a Cadillac driver. He scared me. He scared me. I'm not a... Man, I hadn't done nothing.
I'm a little. That's a little bit old school for me. Explain the Volkswagen driver, the Cadillac driver.
A Volkswagen is a small little car, and a Cadillac is big. You know, you're not a Volkswagen guy. You're a big guy. You know, that's in the black community, people who own a Cadillac.
Yeah, you wanted a Cadillac. My mom
I
loved
never wanted
Cadillacs.
it, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
I never wanted a Cadillac.
You didn't want no Cadillac?
Hell no. Hell no. I didn't want no Cadillac.
Who was the coach that told you that?
Emory Hines.
Emory Hines.
It took me 2 years, but I was playing basketball. It took me in my junior year before I was able to make him feel good about what he said. I needed time. I was playing basketball. I wasn't able to refine my skills in baseball. And he was not happy with me. He benched me in my junior year. Benched me. I mean, I just came off the basketball court. 8-9 day game later, he stuck me in, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Man, I had to get you a movie. You ever thought about getting a movie done?
Only if you going to direct it.
You know I will. Now let's get some investors. Anybody out there listening? Period. Why I can direct, produce. And let's get some investors. Let's get a Roger Cador Against All Odds movie going on here.
And it doesn't have to be against all odds. It could be something else, you know.
Like what? Give me something.
Overcoming the most impossible task ever put. Well, not ever put, but overcoming tremendous odds.
That's what you would like? We can call it that.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be somebody else out there. You know, I'm not a guy that can come up with stuff. I'm simple.
Yeah. We definitely have to get a movie and to tell that story because I think a lot of people know you just as the coach, but there's always a story that comes along with a coach and a backstory. And, you know, a coach that just recently passed away here last week, Mike Leach, the head coach at Mississippi State. You know, I'm sorry to hear that for him and his family. Mike Leach was always one of those guys, if you ever watched him and listened to him in his interviews, he was a unique guy with a unique perspective when you look at life. But was successful. His coaching tree considers to have a lot of guys, including Lincoln Riley, that's at USC, Cliff Kingsbury, that's the head coach at the Arizona in the NFL. And so, you know, there's a lot of people.
They came from the Mike Leach tree?
Mm-hmm. Dana Holgerson, that's at Houston. So, you know, you got a lot of guys that came out of that tree, but unexpectedly he passed away. You know, so we hate to hear that, but, you know, you just talk about being able to tell your story and be able to put that in perspective. It's always good to give somebody their flowers when they're alive. So, you know.
You're doing right. When someone is alive, you want to be able to hear that story. You know, and I often say, and I'm unique in this situation, I say, why would people say, go pay your last respect when someone died. That guy or lady don't know you're there. Mm-hmm. Do it when they're alive. You got me?
My grandmother said something to me to that extent of when the day comes, say don't spend all that money trying to do all this. It costs too much for all that. If they ain't come pay their respect and love and call and check on me when I was alive, why are we going to go all out just for them to show up and I'm gone?
I'm telling you, it's a lot of people don't want to say, but it's about show with a lot of people.
That's it.
You know, one guy, I don't like to talk about death, but one guy, I don't even know the guy, said, Coach, when you die, the car's going to be lined up from here to kingdom come, literally. And I said, why is that necessary? Because of who you are. I said, man, let me tell you. If I have any word, say so, and I can tell my son, he'll listen to me. Invite the fewest people you can, and let this be done. You got me? There's no need to have a big show.
And the cars should be lined up to kingdom come right now while I'm alive.
That's right.
Come holler at me.
Come down.
And while you can talk to me, I can shake your hand, give you a hug, and tell you I love you now.
That's right, man. This is foolishness. Somebody has derived something foolish about who should come when people die. And I've seen it in large funerals. I mean,
Well, it's officially a business, so
It's a business. That's why. But no big deal. We're going to make it happen. We're going to do things while we're alive, and we ain't going to worry about when we go. It'll be all over.
It'll be all over, and that's why I'm enjoying while we're able to do this show.
Chopping it up.
Chopping it up. That's what it's all about.
With a young man like you who is highly recommended.
I appreciate
highly
that.
coveted.
Well, I got the man, the myth, the legend himself. You're a myth to a lot of people because they only heard of how great you were, but then you're the legend for the people who did read. And then most importantly, I'm able to sit here with the man that you are. So the man, the myth, the legend, Roger Cador. I'm Perry White, and of course, y'all, we done reached the end of another episode today of Chopping It Up with Cador. But before we get out of here, y'all be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can catch us next week. Are we going to probably do a show? We know?
I don't know if Monday. No, we're not doing it Monday.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out maybe. It's the day after Christmas. I think we're going to let the people get a chance to get themselves together.
Okay.
Give them a day off.
All right. Well, we might figure something out, but you guys make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way, whatever we figure out, you will instantly know because we'll be going live and it'll be a notification to your phone, all right? And that's the beauty of doing it. So I'm Perry White. He's Roger Cador, and of course, he's going to give you that signature go away, and we out of here.